Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 10, The Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 7. Ushitva Hastinapure Masan Katipayan Hari Suridam Cha Vishokaya Swashus Cha Priya Kamyaya Ushitva Hastinatpure Masan Katipayan Hari Suridam Cha Vishokaya Swashus Cha Priya Kamyaya Masan Katipayan Hari Suridam Cha Vishokaya Swasus Cha Priya Kamyaya Ushitva staying Hastinapure in the city of Hastinapura Masan months Katipanyan a few Hari Lord Shri Krishna Suridam relatives Cha also Vishokaya for pacifying them Swasu the sister Cha and Priyakamyaya for pleasing. Translation or purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shri Hari, Lord Shri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for a few months to pacify his relatives, please his own sister Subhadra. Please repeat. Shri Hari, Lord Shri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister, Subhadra. Purport. Krishna was to start for Dwarka, his own kingdom, after the battle of Kurukshetra and Yudhishthira's being enthroned. But to oblige to the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira and to show special mercy to Bhishmadev, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapura, the capital of the Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king, as well as to please Subhadra, the sister of Lord Shri Krishna. Subhadra was especially to be pacified because she lost her only son, Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife Uttara, the mother of Maharaj Parikshit. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the parts of his relatives. The Lord is absolute. Text 8. Amantriya cha bhyanu gyata parishvaj ya bivadyatam aruroha ritam kaischit parishvakto vivan vaditaha. Afterwards, when Lord Krishna asked permission to depart, and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaj Yudhisthira by bowing down at his feet. The king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. Purport. Maharaj Yudhisthira was the elder cousin of Lord Krishna, and therefore, while departing from him, the Lord bowed down at the king's feet. The king embraced him as a younger brother. Although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accept him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalists cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotees of the Lord. Thereafter, Bhishma and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age. But Nakula and Sahadev bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than he. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskadyade Sadarana. In this verse, it talks about the personal nature of Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, and his relationship with his devotees. So how are we to understand this? How are we to actually understand it? But even more important than that, how we are supposed to actually experience it. It's nice to hear about loving relationships between people, but people would like to experience loving relationships between people also, not just hear about others, whatever love means. Therefore, our process is not just to theoretically hear about Krishna's activities, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Tyaktam deham punarjanma naiti mam eti sorjana. That one who can understand the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not take birth again in this material world, but he goes back to the spiritual world. So the word here is tat. Tat means that. So that means that's something that you can, it's not immediately close to you. You can say this microphone, but you say that wall over there. So it's something that not necessarily is directly right next to you, but it's something that you can actually point out that you have experience of, that car, that person, that whatever. And tva means a collection of things. So tattva means a collection of things that are actually within your experience to some degree or another. They may be further away or closer away, but there is something that's within your experience. So this word tattva is also mentioned in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, and they're a summary of some more than 1 billion verses in the Vedic literature. So obviously Krishna has been speaking it's not obvious, but we've heard that Krishna has been speaking Bhagavad Gita since time immemorial. Just like he said in the Bhagavad Gita, Imam Vishvate Yogam Proktavanaham Aviyam Virishram Nanave Praha Manoikshvakave Ravi. That millions of years ago, literally millions of years ago, 120 million years ago, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. Now in the meantime, if you consider that Krishna comes periodically and speaks Bhagavad Gita, he has a lot of practice doing it. Just like if you give a speech 1,000,000 times, you're probably going to be pretty good at it after some time. So Krishna has the Bhagavad Gita down perfectly. Every word is significant. Every word is exactly in its right place. Every word leads to the next one, to the ultimate realization of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, nothing is out of place. So when Krishna repeats a verse 2 times in the Bhagavad Gita, then you know it must be important. If Krishna repeats a word more than 1 time, you know it must be important. Otherwise, he wouldn't use it. He'd use some other word. So he uses the word tattva, and he repeats in the 18th chapter, and that verse he repeats twice in the Bhagavad Gita, more or less. That verse is Bhakti-mam abhijananti yavanyasyasmi tattvataha tatomam tattvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. That one can understand me, that is tattva, because that's what we're trying to do, that's why we're here. Don't expect a lecture about how to better homes and gardens, except for Tulsi plants, when you come to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. The whole idea of the Bhagavatam class is how to understand Krishna in truth. That's what the Bhagavatam says it's supposed to be. That Krishna, what was that? Krishna Dharma Upagavate. Krishna Dharma Upagavate. Krishna has left for his own abode after the battle of Kurukshetra, after the Yudhisthira was installed on the throne. Krishna Dhamma Upagavate. He left for his abode. Jnana Dhamma Devisaha. And along with him, also left knowledge and real religion. If you have noticed that people are pretty much in ignorance. Ignorance doesn't mean they don't know how to create computers or whatever they can. That's not knowledge. That's technology. But what they're ignorance about is that they don't know who they are. They don't know what the real purpose of life is, to get out of ignorance, to realize their spiritual identity. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how Paramatma guides them. They have no idea who what the goal of life is, namely to revive a loving relationship with the Supreme, who has unlimited love, unlimited attractiveness. They don't know that. Therefore, they're in ignorance. And since Krishna left for his abode, Dhamma, Krishna Dhamma Upagavate, Dhamma means his abode, he lives somewhere, he's a person. He has his home. We come and visit something. Sometimes we go and visit our friends, or we go on a journey, but then we go home. So Krishna has his home. And he left his home. He's not here, not in the same way he was 5,000 years ago. And when he left, then Dharma, real religiosity, and Jnana, they left with him. Therefore in the 12th canto it says, Tatas Shanudinam Dharma Satyam Socham Daya Sama Balena Kalya Rajan Nakshant Yayo Balam Smriti. That day after day, Tatas Chanudinam Dharma. Day after day, Dharma, and Dharma means real religion. Real religion means what we're actually supposed to be doing here. what we can do to actually get what we're looking for. We're looking for permanent happiness. We're looking for knowledge, which is permanence, and will give us permanently real happiness. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want to work for. That's Dharma. And Dharma, as Prabhupada explains, is that we're servants. Everyone is a servant. No one can deny that. The question, what we're going to serve, or who we're going to serve. So real Dharma, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Real Dharma is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita. But when he left, then that knowledge diminished. And it's diminishing day after day. And therefore satyam, truthfulness, socham, cleanliness, daya, mercy, shama, forgiveness, they're all diminishing. Balena Kalira Rajan. And Kali Yuga is quite strong. It's not like we haven't lifted our weights today, we haven't taken our vitamin pill, and therefore I feel like the world is not going right. Oh, Kali Yuga, we're in Kali Yuga. Even Krishna comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he spreads Krishna consciousness extensively, but right after he leaves, the whole thing comes back again, practically, it looks like. The Acharya, like Srila Prabhupada came, and we see the devotees were dancing, chanting, and there seemed to be great unity within our ISKCON society, and the Prabhupada left, apparently, physically, although he's still here. And the shadows come back. Kali Yuga kind of like sweeps in again. Balena Kaliya Raja. And because Kali Yuga is Balena, it's quite strong. Kalena Baliya Rajan, Nakshatrayo Balam Smriti. So what diminishes? Tata Chinudidam Dharma, Satyam, truthfulness, Socham, cleanliness, forgiveness, and tolerance. They're all diminishing. Balena Kalira, Nakshantraya Balam, and bodily strength. People they're couch potatoes nowadays. They can't even get off the couch. People have a hard time changing the television channel if they watch television, whatever they're watching. They need a remote, and even that is too much for them. Now that has to be implanted within their brain. Otherwise, they have no energy to do anything. Bodily strength and memory. As I always tell that story, one man was talking to his wife, to his friend, about this wonderful restaurant that they visited yesterday. And their wives were cooking in the kitchen. So the man said, we went to this fantastic restaurant. You can't believe how good the food was. So the man said, well, what's the name of the restaurant? Maybe I'll go there. He said, I can't remember the name, but if you give me a hint that maybe I can remember it. So he said, okay, describe it to me. So he said, it's like a flower. The name is like a flower. The flower. Okay, what kind of flower? It's red. Okay, and it smells really good. Everyone likes that flower. So he said, is it a rose? He said, you're right, rose. Hey, Rose, what was that name of that restaurant that we were visiting yesterday? So people's memory is diminishing day after day. Everything's diminishing. So, Krishna Dharma Upagode, Dharma Jnana Dabisaha, Kalo Nashta, Kalo Nashta, what is that? Krishna Dharma Upagode. Index of verses quoted. Here we go. Oh, general index. Krishna Sudam Upagavate. 343. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, Text 43. Kalo nashta drishame. I even without looking up, I remember. See, you just touch the Bhagavatam and memory comes back. Krishna swadhamma upagate, jnana dharma jnana dvisaha, kalo nashta drishamesha. Drisha is our vision, seeing. Kalo drisham, our vision. We've lost our vision. Krishna swadhamma upagate, dharma jnana dvisaha, kalo nashta. Nashta means it's destroyed. It's gone away. Kalo drisham, esha. And our vision has been lost. We've forgotten. We can't see things properly anymore. Purana ko dunodita. And therefore this Bhagavad Purana has risen just like the sun to give us knowledge. So, bhaktya Bhaktimam abhijananti yavanyas tasmi tatvataha tatomam tatvato gyatva vishite tad anantaram. That one can actually understand Krishna in truth, we can get our vision back. But not just by reading the Srimad Bhagavad Gita or reading Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the model, it's the direction that we have to utilize our body, our mind, and our words. Otherwise, it remains just it's dead. It's just theoretical. But when we apply it to our own lives, the very principles that are found in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then the Bhagavatam becomes alive to us. The whole world becomes alive to us. Krishna consciousness becomes alive to us. That we have to act like Maharaj Yudhisthira. We have to act like Bhishma Dev. We have to act, these are our role models. Therefore they're considered Mahajans. And our most recent Mahajan is Srila Prabhupada. He sets the example and the standard how to act according to the personalities in the Bhagavatam. He gives us the vision how to do it. Whether we do it or not is up to us. Whether we take the Bhagavatam as some theoretical book, or the Bhagavad Gita is just some boring philosophy, however we might take it. The Bhagavatam is the manifestation of the Bhagavad Gita, the actual application of it in someone's life, maybe not our life, but in Yudhisthira's life, Yudhisthira Maharaj, and Pariksha Maharaj's life. And these great personalities, like how they applied the principles that we find in Bhagavad Gita, of bhakti especially, because that's our aim, is to understand Krishna, who's left, but he's given us these books to understand. And in the book it says, by bhakti. Now, bhakti is not so easy, because it gets mixed up with our material consciousness. Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad Gita, that actually we all have love. Love is normal. It's just our normal state of being. But it's been mixed up with material existence, with illusion. And therefore we've become mistaken for what love is. And not only for a little while, we've been mistaken for many, many lifetimes. So how to untangle it? Well, we have to associate with those who actually have love. So, who has love? Then what is the process given to us? In this age, of course, we understand that the person who has the most love, the one who has the reservoir of love, the unlimited ocean of love, is Krishna and Srimati Radharani. And they've come in this age and distributing that love, the opportunity to experience that love, as it says, Krishna varnam tvisa Krishna, sango pangasra barshadam, jagnai sankirtana prayara yanti hi sumeda saha. Then in this age, Krishna Krishna Varnam. Varna means color. So Krishna means black. Krishna Varnam. Tvisa Krishnam. Akrishnam. So Krishna has come in this age in a different color, in a golden color. Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam. Sango Pangasa Parshnam. And along with him, he's brought his parishads, his intimate associates, such as Lord Nityananda, Advaitacharya, Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishna, Sango Pangasta Parshadam, Jagnai Sankirtana Prayer, and they're performing Sankirtan, glorifying the holy names of Krishna. Yanti Hi Sumedasa. And those who are intelligent, they'll take advantage of it. Krishna Varna Tvisa Krishna, Sango Pangasta. So he's also, his angas, his plenary portions, they're his weapons to defeat Kali Yuga, to destroy the ignorance of Kali Yuga. And what are they doing? They're simply chanting Hare Krishna. That's their main business. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to chant Hare Krishna also. So what's the difference? Well, for one thing, when we chant Hare Krishna, perhaps, well, how much we can actually chant Hare Krishna will depend upon what we actually, our faith. And our faith depends upon our experience. And right now, under the modes of material nature, our experience is limited. And we have to accept that. There's nothing you can do. When you're in prison and you don't have the key, you're going to have to accept you're in prison and make the best use of being in the prison. I know devotees who have were in prison for like decades, but they were chanting 64 rounds a day at least. Probably more than we can chant when we're not in prison. Of course, we're all in prison. Some people know they're in prison, and some people think they're free to do whatever they want. In any case, we have to accept the fact that we're not free to do everything we'd like to do. And therefore we have to accept, and we're not just free to walk out of this body as a spiritual being. We have to qualify ourselves. So qualifying ourselves is how to chant Hare Krishna in such a way as that we take it seriously. That here is Srimati Radharani, here is Krishna. But who's Srimati Radharani and who's Krishna? She's the reservoir of unlimited love and bliss. So we think, well, these are just names we're chanting. Of course, these are the offenses that we have to avoid. If we think the chanters of the names are just ordinary persons, etc., then the result is that they remain ordinary. Krishna, what is that? Arche Vishnu Shilana. That Krishna reciprocates with us, Yaya Dhammam Pravadite, according to our mentality. So we think, oh, this is Hare. It's just an ordinary sound vibration. It's not Srimati Radharani personally present there, full of love for Krishna and love for everyone. It's just some ordinary sound, Hare. And Krishna, oh, he's just another sound. Rather than Krishna, the most attractive personality that invokes unlimited love in Srimati Radharani, which is distributed all over the universes. So if we think, I'm a fool, we're making some progress. And if we think, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, then we have some ways to go. If we think it's absolutely untrue, it's just a mythology, then there's no hope for us. So at least set aside, as it says, what is the first verse that Ramananda Roy accepted that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted when Ramananda Roy was trying to explain how we're going to become Krishna conscious in this age. So Ramananda Roy quoted so many verses from the Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't reject them. He said they're external. They were not going to help us very much because we're already external enough. He wanted something a little bit more potent than just, as we hear all the time, Denosmin nita dehe. We hear, yeah, sure, great. I'm eternal. Wow, how fantastic. What's Prasadam anyhow? He wanted something a little bit more powerful. So finally Ramananda Roy quoted a verse from Lord Brahma in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Gyane priyasam udapasta namanteva. Give up this tendency to speculate. Me speculate? I never speculate. I know everything. How can I speculate? I already figured everything out. How can you tell me I'm speculating? We don't understand what speculation means. That's the problem. We think speculation is when we're, she loves me not, she loves me, that's speculation too. But that's not the limit of speculation. There's so many other levels of speculation. He's nice, he's not so nice, etc. This whole endeavor to figure everything out with our tiny little brain. Including, what is this Hare Krishna mantra? Why I chant Hare Krishna, I don't experience anything. That's also, and how can they explain that it's actually Krishna? So, Lord Brahma, Ramananda Roy told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gyane priyasa utapastana, just put all this speculation aside, calm the mind down, it's all right, I'm a fool, what do I really know? There may be a whole world out there that I have no idea. Just like when people get into the subtle sciences, like Reiki and other things, they discover there's so many things going on, we have no idea, even on this material platform, what's really going on. And therefore they come up with so many other speculations. Think positive, etc. That the whole universe comes to you if you just think positive. You attract whatever you think, it just comes to you. I won $1 million. Wow. It's all another level of speculation that's not based upon practical experience. But we've come to the Hare Krishna movement because we've at least understood to some extent that I don't really know what's going on. And when we hear Bhagavad Gita, we're not this body. We're going to understand, actually, what do I don't really even know the most important thing, who I am, who I really am, or what I really am. Therefore, Gyane priyasam udapasta manta eva, and become a little submissive. Now, everyone is submissive. Everyone is submissive either to their tongue, to their belly, to their genitals, to their minds, to their anger, listening to their words, how beautiful they sound. Everyone is submissive. Everyone, either to their own tongue or finding out from others how they're gratifying their tongue, and how I can do it too. So everyone's submissive to find out how to learn how to satisfy our tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, and words better. So we're submissive, but the Manta Eva, who we should actually be submissive according to Ramananda Roy and Lord Brahma, and who does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu think we should be submissive to? Jivanti sanmukharitam, bhavadiya varatam. We should follow the path of those who've heard from actually realized souls and try to hear from them. So, what are they going to tell me to do? Give up my home and go into the forest, or get another job, or move into the temple? What are they going to tell me to do? Stane sita. Don't worry about that. Just another speculation. It's not important. The most important thing is stane sita shrutigatam. Try to learn how to hear, and then engage one's body, mind, and words in that following what we've heard. Jita jitop taistrilokam. And then Krishna, who's so difficult to understand. Naham prakasha sarvasha yogamaya samavrita mudoyam nabijananti lokoyam ajam avyam. We've come to the Hare Krishna movement to understand, experience Krishna in truth. But we're covered. He's covered us with the illusory energy because we don't have that desire. We have so many other desires. So how to develop the desire? By, of course, getting a heart, by experiencing Krishna as he really is, experiencing what's being promised to us, the bliss, the enlightenment, the permanent situation in peace and happiness. That's what we want to experience. How to do that? We've been told by chanting the holy name. Therefore, Prabhupada said, I believe he said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So simple. And how to chant, how to be happy? We know how to chant Hare Krishna. We should chant with the understanding, dear my Krishna, my Srimati Radharani, as Prabhupada translated it, please engage me in your loving service. So what love is, we will have to find out. What service, loving service is. So we should have this open-heartedness when we chant. I don't really know, but please reveal to me. And they're persons. So, and chant Hare Krishna and be happy. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? What is the cause of our unhappiness? Why is Arjuna having so many problems with his mind when he was even hearing Bhagavad Gita? So Krishna says the solution is not easy, but it's possible. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Asamshaya Mahabaho Manodur Nigraham Shalam, Abhyasena Tukuntiya Vairagena Chagriyate. It is undoubtedly very difficult to curb this restless mind. Not only to concentrate on hearing, but also to, in the mood, which is even superior to just concentration, in the mood of receptiveness, of love, of feeling dependence, taking shelter of the holy name, feeling that there are shelter. That's extremely difficult, but it's possible by suitable practice. Regulated sadhana, and by detachment to our inner voice. It's not, don't take it so seriously. It doesn't. You have so many other important things to think about right now. You have so many important things to do. Just relax and, maybe next life. Maybe tomorrow you'll experience what this is all about. Suitable practice and detachment from all these crazy ideas we have about ourselves, about everyone else, about what our goals are, what we're supposed to do today. So many crazy things go through our minds. Because Maya is not, 16 rounds with the holy name, boxing. We're boxing 16 rounds with the holy name. Round one, ding, immediately Maya goes, whack, and we're knocked out in the first round. We're out of the ring in the first round. That's a fight against Maya, the illusory energy. And she's not a simple person. She's trying to lure us by so many different means. As Yogis Chalati Manasa. As soon as one tries to make advancement, then Maya will try to allure one by so many different allurements. So we don't pay attention. We don't even pay attention. What to speak of after paying attention, then try to remember what the mood is, what the proper mood of chanting is. And then if Krishna appears and we feel some ecstasy, I've reached the goal of life. I'm perfect. That's good. We should experience some happiness. But we have some time before we're actually into the ocean of devotional service. Although we should get a few drops on the bank of the river, of the ocean. So we have the holy name, and this is our means of saving ourselves and being instrumental to saving the world. So we have to understand it and take it seriously. And all these other things, Srimad Bhagavatam, serving the devotees, worshiping the deities, they're all to help us chant the holy name in the proper concentration, in the proper mood, that Krishna will actually reveal himself to us. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Partagami, Bhavatume, please reveal yourself. So they will reveal themselves if we want them to. So we have to develop that desire that we want them to actually reveal themselves to us. So we can actually experience what their loving exchanges are, what love actually means between Krishna and his devotees. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions?
So when this happens, we think we make some advancement, and then the next day everything comes, this old mentality. I mean, not old, but actual mentality. So how to deal with this? What should be our, how to understand this, and what should we do to? I don't know how to ask properly. What should be our relation to this state? How should we proceed in this situation? Because sometimes one day everything is perfect, we chant nicely, and then the next day it just disappears, So what should be our position to this situation?
Well, that's why we have sadhana every day. Shrindvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravanam Kirtana. Every day, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Because it's expected and it's necessary for our spiritual advancement that we sometimes, at our stage, go up and down. Otherwise, there's no impetus to make progress. And Krishna is very cheap. So Prabhupada says that the spiritual master should be... The spiritual master can give the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. And the message of the Lord in disciple succession to his disciple as it is. None can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of foolish pretenders. One should accept the spiritual master in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. One should be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses him with genuine spiritual understanding. So when everything is great, everything is fine, it seems like we can do this forever. But when we're put into position of challenge, we're being tested, that's really when we have to shine. That's when we have to make that's how our effort increases to come back to the stage we experienced yesterday. Because that yesterday experience was real, and was to encourage us so that when we get tomorrow into the experience of tomorrow, then we actually try harder to come back to that stage. And that trying harder is that's ourselves, that's the soul. That's what Krishna is actually looking for. Not the modes of material nature are going to be fine every day. It's the soul that we're trying to bring out. That the soul doesn't take the material, this dryness of material energy so seriously, doesn't take the modes of material nature as seriously as the fact that the process can liberate us if we try to develop as Krishna says, if you can't fix your mind upon me without deviation, engage all your intelligence in me, then follow the principles of bhakti yoga, and this way try to develop the desire to obtain me. So that effort is what actually advances us the most. We make some advancement when we're in bliss, but that's because we tried before. That brought us. And when we're not on that platform of bliss and we try, that will bring us back to that platform of bliss even more than it was the day before. So that's Krishna's blessing. So that we can try, even in the spiritual world it's like that. There's constant separation and there's constant meeting, there's constant, relationships that are being tested all the time in the spiritual world, just to increase the love. So that goes on here too. But here, it's not so sweet sometimes, our testing. There in the spiritual world, the testing is sweet also. But here our testing is not so sweet, but it has the same value as in the spiritual world to bring us to a higher state of Krishna consciousness, a higher state of experiencing what the bliss and the higher taste we had before. But it requires some effort on our part, some suitable effort, following the instructions and taking shelter of the instructions, taking shelter of our previous acharyas, and those representatives have come to us now, so we can value their instructions and apply them, even when things are not going the way we like them to go. And then we'll get blessings in the future. Or even maybe immediately we'll get blessings, depending upon what Krishna wants. Anything else? Just imagine Queen Kunti was praying for problems. But because she knew she was going to see Krishna, the more problems she had, because she was sincere, spontaneous in love with Krishna, she was praying for problems, because then Krishna would come. So when we have problems, we shouldn't think, why do I have problems? I chanted so nicely yesterday. No, the problems are there so we can call for Krishna even more sincerely. And then Krishna will come and we won't have any more problems.
It makes no sense that, one day, for example, we chanted nicely, so why we can't, next day, mind starts to, we chant and we think of...
Because we have too many attachments.
It's crazy, if we know that yesterday we chanted nicely, so why should we even think about, why can't we chant next day again?
Because we have attachments. And the attachments, the nice chanting, whether it's a gift or because of our effort, whatever it is, but the nice chanting doesn't mean that we're fully Krishna conscious and that we're not susceptible to the illusory energy. No, then Maya says, all right, you chanted very nicely, I didn't send you my materialistic thoughts that would actually distract you yesterday, but today I'm sending you a few thoughts, try it out. Some movie we saw 2 years ago, or some food we're going to eat tomorrow, and it goes, Hare Krishna, I remember that. I don't want to forget that too easily. And then Hare Krishna, what about yesterday? And then pizza, oh yeah, pizza. What about pizza? Ice cream. So then we're tested, that's all. We're going to equate pizza to the bliss. We don't remember what I experienced yesterday. Do I actually have faith that pizza and what I experienced yesterday is the same? Well, maybe I start thinking about it. And that thinking about it is enough to distract us from chanting.
It's almost like some pattern. If you chant one day nicely, you can be almost sure that the next day...
Well, I wouldn't get into that. If you're almost sure, then Krishna will, he doesn't want to disappoint you. He's fulfilling desires, so. You think, Hare Krishna, it was so nice today. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to be a tough day. It's not like that. We should have an open mind, just willing to, not to tell Krishna what to do to us day to day. Have an open mind, be willing to accept what Krishna sends our way. Yes. Oh, we have a microphone here. I know it's a long way, but go ahead. It's called passing the baton.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, we were speaking about Dharma, and I was wondering, is there any kind of a relation with the personal Swadharma in our life, present life, with our spiritual form? Is there any kind of correlation? Is it important to be connected with our Swadharma in this present life, that we can actually go toward our real shape?
Well, Swadharma means we're servants. So here and in the spiritual world, everywhere, throughout the all universes, material and spiritual, our Swadharmas, we're servants. What kind of service we render, it depends upon us. Now, if we're working as a Brahmin or a Kshatriya, as a manager or as a farmer or whatever, that doesn't mean that because I'm a farmer that when I go back to the spiritual world, that my relationship I plow the fields with Balaram. No, that's not how it works. That will be revealed to us in a high stage of Krishna consciousness called bhava. But that's when our natural, the feelings of the soul awaken because of intense ecstasy and intense love for Krishna, intense upraising of consciousness. Then is revealed to us by our very feelings, what our feelings towards Krishna are, what our relation with what's called Sarup, city, what our relation with Krishna is. But right now our relation with Krishna is that we're supposed to serve him and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement under the directions of his representatives. That's our Swadharma. That's all we have to know at this present time. Whether we're a blade of grass or a gopi, that we'll find out later. Is that answering your question?
Yes, but also is there importance of following our Swadharma in a service that it is actually for fulfilling us in this present state?
Yeah, of course there is.
We can do anything.
Our service should be fulfilling. We're not. Otherwise, go get a job in a factory. Why work like a factory in the Hare Krišna movement when they don't pay you? You're going to work like a labor in a factory. Then go get some money for it at least. Get some compensation for it. Get something in return for it. So we should do something that's fulfilling to us, that inspires us, that we want to do. That we wake up in the morning and we think, I want to do this. Therefore, we don't take we don't go to the devotees' houses, put a rope around their neck and drag them to the Mangalarti. It's good for you, Prabhu. No, they should voluntarily come if they want. It's all voluntary because they want to do it. And that's why the service will not last unless we'd like to do the service for Krishna. Anything else? Khala. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.